Welcome to Through the Lens of Astrology. I'm your host, Heather Arielle. And today, I am very excited about today's show. We are celebrating not only a new moon, but a solar eclipse. It's going to happen December 14th. And here to celebrate with us is one of my favorite people, Carolyn Oakley, the renowned publisher and graphic designer. Carolyn, I'm so happy you're here. How are you?
Hi, Heather. It is so great to be here with you. I'm great. I'm great. I got really inspired by last week's show when you did that amazing Sagittarius spread that you created for the show. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to talk about that now or if you have other things you want to talk about
Oh
first.
my gosh, let's talk that. I'm so excited to hear that because that's a brand new spread. And I wanted to find a way to really help us connect to the major energy that's going on. Now we are going to do a new moon spread on this show, but yeah, that Sagittarius spread to really try to bring in those Sagittarius elements of joy, of tolerance, of publicity, of big picture. So, what did you? This is great feedback. Yeah, what did you
Right.
respond to with that spread?
You know, for me, probably because I have a lot of stuff going on in my sixth house. I loved that you pulled the sixth house card as a message card.
Uh,
And the message, was sort of like connect to our deepest held beliefs,
yes.
focus on your daily routine.
Mm,
And it made me think a lot about what's going on with COVID right now, because people are really feeling simultaneously feeling this pressure, like, oh, it's COVID time. I have these opportunities to do things. Like I had a friend of mine say the other day, I know I'm supposed to be more creative now, but I'm just, she's just freaked out and exhausted all the time and feeling numb. And so I thought, oh gosh, like the last thing we need to do is put more pressure on ourselves that we're supposed to be accomplishing like
yes.
amazing new feats during COVID time.
Yes,
Right.
I love that. Amazing new feats
Right,
during COVID,
exactly.
right? It's like,
When people are supposed to be super moms and dads, right, taking care of their kids and
yes.
homeschooling and then like, getting them into science and creativity and everything. But it did make me or help me to reflect on, okay, there are these energies and there are these times to take advantage of those energies, kind of like a retrograde.
Right.
Every time there's a retrograde, I can't wait till it's over. And then it's over and I feel that shift in energy and I think, oh, I could have taken advantage of that,
Right.
retrograde energy, the way Heather Arielle always says we can do, really, you do. And it always inspires me. So anyway, for me, the sixth house message of focus on your daily routine was one piece out of last week's spread that I felt like I could relate to and maybe like, okay, that's the one little thing I'm going to amp up a little bit during Sagittarius season. And so you'll be proud of me. I signed up for a prana yoga class,
Oh my gosh.
an
Okay.
online class.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I have, what do they call it? An accountability buddy. So I
Oh,
have a buddy taking it with me so we can hold each other accountable. And it's just my pace. It's really easy. She said, if it gets too hard, you can just sit in meditation.
oh,
And I
that's
thought, well, that's
great.
perfect.
Oh, that
I'll
is
just
my kind of
meditate.
yoga. That's
Right,
like,
exactly. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to meditate for an hour. So anyway, so I just really appreciate that. And so that's what I do. I know you have your own yoga routines and other healing routines that you do.
no, I think this is great because I'm glad you brought up the sixth house card because a lot of times people, they are not excited when I'm doing a reading for them. And it's like, oh, you get the sixth house card. And they're kind of like, that doesn't sound so exciting. But it's a beautiful card because it is about our daily routine. This is how we spend most of our time.
Right.
right? So
Right.
we should really be present with it. Think about it and say, what are the activities that we can do on a daily basis that's really going to bring us, that's going to support us, bring us joy and health, because it's the house of health. So I think that's perfect. The
Right.
yoga, getting back to that routine. Now I do my meditation. I do a TM meditation, and I do add 5 minutes of pranayama, the alternate nostril breathing, before my meditation. But one thing that I often do, but I realized I had not been doing it. I typically do rounds, what's called rounding. And you do this very specific set of asanas, which are yoga postures,
Mhm.
before the pranayama and before the meditation. And, when I'm really on top of everything, I do a complete round in the morning, which, takes about an hour. And then I do a
Wow.
complete round in the afternoon. And I realized after last week's reading, when I looked at my daily routine, I said, wait a second, you know what? I didn't even round yesterday.
That's
I mean, yes,
great.
I always do my 20-minute meditation. I always do that. But I I just realized I hadn't really been doing all of it. So I got right back, and I've been doing my 2 rounds a day, and it is just like night and day. I feel so much better. I'm feeling rejuvenated. And
Right.
so I say, hey, I'm part of this group. These messages, I'm not pulling these messages for everybody else.
Right.
It's not as if I'm like above, because I had a client like, oh, really? You listen to messages too? Absolutely. I am part of this group. We
Yes.
are all in this group together. These messages are for you. They're for me. They're for all of us in
That's
the Through the
fantastic.
Lens of Astrology group. So that's exactly the way to use them. It's like to interact with that energy, to say, how can I embrace this energy? Am I embracing it completely and fully? And
Right.
if we're not, let's make those adjustments the way that you sign up for that yoga class. Oh, that's great.
Right. I like that idea of making adjustments. I think that's the thing. It's just a micro adjustment is sometimes all it takes, or a
Yes.
reminder. So these spreads are so useful for that. And I really respect that you use them in your own life as well. Someone said something to me about seeing a picture of someone doing a spread. And he said, it looks to me like that's a tarot reader giving somebody else, a tarot reading. And
Yes.
it's so funny because to me, I don't see it that way. I think like these are messages for all of us. And I think that's from working with you, where
Oh,
that's the approach that you take. These are messages for all of us. Take what we can from it. It's okay if we don't get all 5 cards and the whole schmear. Um, but it's great that we get to check in on it. I'm glad that we get to check in actually here a week later and talk about it a little bit, just to maybe it'll remind somebody somewhere. Oh
well,
yeah.
absolutely, because those messages are good for Sagittarius season, and we still got a couple more weeks. And I just love that you brought up micro adjustments. It's such a good point, because a lot of us feel, if we don't make what's the point? If it's not some life altering, sweeping change, then why do it? Is it really, it's like, no, no, no. Micro adjustments can have a macro impact,
Yeah.
can have a big, because especially a lot of little steps, a lot of little adjustments, all of a sudden you're going to look back and say, oh my gosh, I just made 7 little adjustments, and they together have a big impact. So I do think that's great that you brought that up. And just to reiterate the importance of the group, I talk so much about it.
Mhm.
You and I both, we really value the group. We are both, it's important that we are responsible for the group, that whatever action we take not only benefits, ourselves, but benefits others and everyone. That's really important. And so that's another reason why I do these spreads as part of the show, and I formed the Through the Lens of Astrology Facebook group, which please join, because, by our collective participation and listening and participating, that we give energy to the
Right.
group, and the energy magnifies. And every beautiful soul who decides to join us and decides to listen and decides to join that group, there's tremendous power in that, because the energy of the whole group magnifies. And
That's right.
that's, also wanted to, just bring that up.
That's great. That's great. Well said. and I
Now,
look
yeah,
forward to more spreads. just to encourage you that, next month is Capricorn season, which most people don't
Yes,
like.
and you are Ms. Capricorn, which
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the
Ooh.
show, but that's right, because you've got a stellium in Capricorn. So no, I will. I was inspired by last week's spread, and I am going to I'm going to do a Capricorn spread. I want to start to do spreads to then not only bring in the energy of the new moon, but bring in that sun energy.
That's fantastic.
So
And
that's
I see a book in your future. I see a publisher.
yes, yes.
So
Well, I do. I have almost completed my next book, and it's going to have a lot of new spreads that aren't in the planners. And just because astrology is full of so much nuance and duality, so I'm always trying to capture just the nuance of it to really, so we can have the deepest, most profound experience and layer and layer everything. So that's, I mean, I just keep trying to go deeper myself and then help others go deeper. So yeah, it's going to be the next level.
that's
It's gonna
fantastic.
come out
Wonderful.
pretty soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we have a major new moon, beautiful new moon in Sagittarius, and it's very special. It's December 14th, 11:16 a.m. Eastern time. And on December 14th, that's my daddy's birthday. Now he's transitioned, but it's such a special day for me anyway. Okay, it's also a solar eclipse. And the last solar eclipse we had was, I'm just realizing this. June 21st, which was the
Oh,
summer solstice, and which was my birthday.
right.
So I just realized, so these two
Wow.
solar eclipses are my birthday, my daddy's birthday. Okay. Daddy's sending me some messages.
That's right.
Okay. So what's special about when we have a solar eclipse? You're going to want to know what house. Remember, there are 12 astrological houses as part of a chart. And wherever the solar eclipse takes place. Now, you want to notice what house it's in, because a solar eclipse allows for a new beginning. Now, a new moon allows for a new beginning, but it's a mini new beginning because every month we have a new moon.
Hmm.
And the solar eclipse, we don't have that many in here. We have two this year, the one in June and one now. So the energy of a solar eclipse lasts for 6 months, right? And even maybe sometimes as long as a year if it's especially potent in your chart. But it's going to bring in that new energy for the area of experience that's for you. So I would tell everybody, the sun is in Sagittarius. So you're going to want to know, you're going to want to go through those 12 houses, look at your natal chart, go to 9 o'clock. That's the first house of your chart. That's what I always say. And then you're going to want to go through each house and find, we're going to upload the symbol for Sagittarius.
Right.
Find where that is. What house is the cusp, Sagittarius energy, because then the solar eclipse is lighting up that house, is activating that area of experience, and that's going to just offer you potent energy for a new beginning. Now, depending on the degree, and this is something that would require, if you're an advanced student and anytime a solar eclipse, if the exact degree actually hits one of your planets in a conjunction,
Mm.
that's even more potent, and that just allows for you to manifest that energy. So I mean, me personally, on my birthday, June 21st, that solar eclipse was on my sun, and I have sun Mercury moon conjunct, so that was a big deal for me. But that just meant everything that my sun represents, that was a major new beginning. And Gemini is about communication and writing and teaching and learning. And then it was right around that time that then I was offered the radio show, that Jennifer said, "Hey, I'd like you to do a radio show on my station." And I started that show within a couple of months, and the radio is all about Gemini. All I do is talk.
Right.
All I do is talk.
And all I do is take notes.
Yeah.
I listen and take notes.
So that's the way to use it. Find out where is the solar eclipse in your chart, and allow for you to really embrace that energy. Know that it's a potent new beginning. Now,
That's really interesting to me that it's a highlight of an area in your chart or a planet in your chart because it's an eclipse. And so people might go, "Oh, that's scary, like it's blocking that energy." But
oh,
actually, no,
absolutely.
it's illuminating.
that's a great point. I'm glad you said that because the sun illuminates. The sun is clarity. Nothing hides in the sun. Okay.
Okay.
Everything comes out. So when the sun, with the solar eclipse, it is illuminating and it's so much easier. It's easier to see that area more clearly. And then that's how it's always easier to embrace something if the veils lift and you can see something clearly. That's also why a new moon is so beautiful, because in a new moon it's, oh, we're starting to see things. But and then between a new and full moon, things become clearer and clearer. And that's why we use the reverse message of the card of I can see clearly now, on the
Right.
reverse message of the moon card from the fundamentals of astrology oracle deck. So this is beautiful when you combine a new moon and a solar eclipse. It's clarity, the veils are lifting. And I should also say, I'm going to do a very special cosmic forces at the end of this show with you, Carolyn. And
Wonderful.
when two or more are gathered, the power increases. So we're going to do a beautiful cosmic forces with to really help manifest for everyone listening and who's part of this group, to really manifest all this beautiful new energy. I thought how perfect to bring in the cosmic forces. So everybody stick around for
That's
that.
great. That is wonderful.
Now, okay, so I would love to do the new moon spread, and I'm just so excited that you're here to do it.
Me
And I
too.
should also say, okay, so I do need to bless the deck. Normally, I have a chance to bless it before, but I didn't have a chance. But you know what? I thought, let me bless it now, because some people who are home, maybe you want to bless your own deck sometimes, and maybe
That's
you'll
a
find it helpful.
that's a great reminder that when you get a new deck to bless it. That's
Yes, yeah.
even, yeah.
And exactly. And I go through a lot of decks. So, and
Right.
these,
That's what I was going to
yeah,
say.
I go through a lot because when you're shuffling doing this
Right.
and yeah, so I just opened this and I do need to bless it. Now I do also do a little mini blessing between readings, when I do, but that's just more of a clarity where you say clear readings, just clear the energy, bring in the new energy. But
Good to
this
know
is what I
that.
do when I have a new deck. Okay. All right, Yeshua, Ehyeh, Sheikh, Ehyeh, angels and guides, please bless this deck. Please activate it. Please free it of all past energies. And please allow me to use this deck to receive accurate messages and to help me accurately interpret those messages so I, along with everyone listening, can receive messages that will help us all reach our highest levels of happiness, bliss, consciousness, joy, creativity, empathy, and resiliency. Okay. All right. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to fix this up. Okay. So this new moon is a Sagittarius new moon. And, I did a whole show last week all on Sag. If you all missed it, and if you want to know more about Sagittarius, you can listen to the show from last week. It's on SoundCloud. Also, you can I have Astro Oracle podcast, and I did a really good recap of Sag energy on last week's Astro Oracle podcast. So just if you want to reconnect with what does Sag energy have to offer us, in general, it is energy it's about freedom and it's about tolerance. So everything is about how can we be the most tolerant? How can we connect to our beliefs in a tolerant way? How can we expose ourselves to different beliefs and different people? And because it's ninth house influence. So it's really about experiences that are foreign to us, people who come from different cultures, different belief systems. We want to honor all belief systems. That's what Sagittarius says, that there are strong belief systems and that we are going to honor and respect all of them. We're going to share our systems of belief in a tolerant way, and we're going to open a dialogue because it's higher learning, the ninth house. So it's about, I want to learn about you and you're going to learn about me, and we're going to respect each other. And it's very philosophical. And it's also about freedom, giving freedom. And that has a lot to do with religious freedom and all of that. We don't want to ever oppress anyone. We want tolerance. We want openness. We want to embrace diversity, embrace different cultures, and we want to feel free, right? So we want to feel
Mhm.
free, and we want to help others feel free. And that is at the core of Sagittarius energy. That's what it's all about. Okay, so now, oh my goodness, I just realized a new moon spread. See, this is a special spread that I do with the new moon. They have to be in categories.
Oh, right.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit. Well, I get these in
That's great.
categories because I
Perfect.
just whipped out this new deck and I was like, okay, all right.
I'm
So,
just going to say something about what you were just talking about, because you actually you did speak to that issue last week during the Sagittarius spread, and you pulled that air card in the house of the publicity card. And
right.
you said, have those conversations.
Yes.
This is the time to communicate. So it's about having that tolerance. As you had pulled in that spread, the tolerance card, what will help us to be more tolerant? You pulled Pisces,
That's right.
right? And so there's that meditation, that going in, that looking at value systems, but kind of on a spiritual level, and then having those conversations. And then I remember you ended with the big picture card,
Oh,
which you pulled Taurus for that. So making things happen in the earthly plane, right? So these are our values, opening up to what other people's values are, understanding that, they are values, they are beliefs, they are the things that really inspire, motivate these people. So let's have those conversations. Let's find out what that is for those people, and learn how to be tolerant with other
oh,
points of view. So
that is so beautifully put. Well, you know what? That's so beautifully put. I'm actually really happy that I I didn't prepare this better. We would not have gotten that beautiful eloquent recap. Okay. Um okay, and now I'm ready. So,
great.
so remember for the new moon spread, we put them into 5 categories. We put the 4 element cards, okay, into a category. We put the 3 modality cards together. We put all of the planets, okay, and we have 11 planets, even though, because we for astrology we include we include the asteroid Chiron, and
Right.
the star
Right.
and all of that. Okay, we have the 12 zodiac signs, and we have the 12 astrological houses. Okay, so all right, so we're going to start, and I'm going to select a element. Okay. And remember, these are energies that we want to embrace, because it's all about what is the energy that if we embrace, it's going to really help us to make the most of these new beginning energies. Okay. Oh my gosh, water. You know what? Water's been coming up a lot lately. I did a reading when I pulled a couple of cards for Thanksgiving for the group. Water, we got water. Okay,
That's
well, I'll
right.
tell you, with everything's going on, I think water is where it's at. Because think about what is water. Water is all about our heart, it's about feelings. When you get the water card, it's saying we need to embrace and be connected to our heart, to what we feel. That is empathy. And a lot of people are having a really hard time. Holidays can be lonely even outside of COVID. And
Right.
now with COVID and people aren't able to hug and touch and do all of that, we need to really be empathetic, and we need to make sure that we are finding ways to express our love for others. So we need to be not just, I know that we're Zooming and we're calling people, but are we really sharing our love? What are we talking about? Are we talking about, it's like, what is the discussion? This means make sure that not only do you connect to your feelings over the next couple of weeks, but that you share them. Let people know how you feel about them. That's going to be a big strength right now, and we should be embracing that. Okay.
And I imagine also being open to them sharing their feelings and
Absolutely. I'm so
really
glad you said
asking.
absolutely. Let's get the feeling dialogue going.
Yes,
Yeah, this is how I feel. How do you feel? And
that's
that's
great.
that's very, very important. Okay, now the modality. What is the modality? Okay. Oh my gosh. Cardinal. All right.
Oh,
This is forward momentum, individual initiative. Cardinal is green light. You get the cardinal card. Don't wait for somebody to give you permission. You don't need any permission to do anything right now. Cardinal says if you want to do something, if you want to connect with somebody, you want to go forward with a project, with a relationship, anything, it means you do it. You do it. It is individual initiative, full steam ahead. I love that.
that's great.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to pick a planet. All right. Okay. Ooh, Venus.
Ooh,
Hello, Venus. You
love
know what?
that.
I don't think Venus has ever been selected as part of any of these new moon spreads. This is some new energy. I'm loving it. Well, I'll tell you, water and Venus together. Oh, there's some love action going on.
Mm.
This is really love, love, love with a capital L. Okay. So this really means it is time to really feel the love, connect with all of the love feelings and love yourself, right? Because there's self love. And then you're going to love others and you're going to allow, I mean, it even says, open your heart to love. Your soulmate is trying to find a way in. So
Oh,
this
that's
is really,
beautiful.
that is so beautiful. This is the next 2 weeks, the new beginning can be you really allow new love to come in, or new love to come into an old relationship, right? Or just new love. Venus is also beauty, it's charm, it's grace. So it's saying, let's embrace these qualities of grace and charm. And that goes with the tolerance, right? Of
Right.
Sagittarius, of we're going to express ourselves, but with grace and charm and beauty and tact. Venus is very tactful. Venus is diplomatic. It is connected to Libra and to Taurus. So it is partnership energy, and it also deals with, we get the whole, yes, this was pulled upright, so there's a real focus on love, but you still get the whole meaning of the card, which means it's still a financial card, which we can make very smart financial decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an art, it represents art, so connect to your art, your creativity, and connect to your art in a very emotional water way. Feel your art. Create the art that feels right. Don't create the art of, I think somebody's going to want to see this. No, no. You create the art that you are compelled to create. So it's connect on a very emotional level. So that, wow, this
That's
is
beautiful.
beautiful. Okay.
Great energy going into the holidays,
I know.
boy.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, now I'm going to pull a zodiac sign. Right. Okay. The zodiac sign that is going to really help us pull all of this together. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh. Aries. Wow. Now,
Oh,
this is
okay.
wow. Wow. And guess what? Aries is a cardinal sign. Okay. This is new. This is saying, well, how perfect is this for a new moon and a solar eclipse when we're supposed to be bringing in new energy? Aries, I mean, look what it says on the card. New beginnings. Actions you take now will yield swift results. Charge ahead with your visionary plans. Oh my gosh. This is a green light. This is a big green light. This is saying we need to be pioneers right now. Okay. We do need to charge ahead, and we need to connect to our individual initiative. And this is a fire
Mm,
card. So this is action. We are supposed to be taking actions. But you know what? With all this Venus and water, we are supposed to be taking love actions, actions from our heart. Right. So
right.
take actions that put more love into the world. And this is kind of saying, this is energy to start a new relationship. So they can be new romantic relationships, new friendships, new professional, right? But this is energy to bring some new wonderful relationships into your life. And if it's an old relationship that really needs to be revitalized, then you got to bring some new elements into it. And I'll tell you, with Sagittarius, it's about freedom. And Sag is the explorer. It's all about exploring and doing new things. So it could be, if your relationship has gotten a little stale, then you need to do something really new, a new activity. We can't really travel right now, but there are all kinds of new activities or things that you can do that could awaken your relationship. So you need some new elements. We need new elements in our life. All right. So
Right.
bring new elements into existing relationships, bring some new relationships in. And people who resonate to Aries energy. If you have Aries, as a personal planet, your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or your ascendant, heads up. We need your talent. Your talent is needed right now because Aries is pioneering and people need help to kind of give that push of, no, you can do this. Go ahead. It gets things going.
Mm-hmm.
So we need your talent. And it also means, think about people you know who resonate to Aries energy. They can be of special benefit to you right now. So calling all Aries.
And there is a lot of innovative energy right now. People coming up
Yeah.
with all kinds of new ways to travel, for example. I saw in the New York Times, yeah, we can't go to Japan right now, but here are ways to experience Japan from home, and things like
Oh, I
that.
love it.
Yeah, so it's a great time to get that partner, that special partner, and do something really unique and innovative that, will bring some joy into your life. That's great.
Exactly. I think that's great. We forget. And Sag is so good for that, bringing in something new. So that Aries is in alignment and they're both fire. So that is in alignment. Okay, now we're going to choose an astrological house to see what is an area of experience that we should really be embracing right now. Okay. Woo! Okay. Wow. We got the 10th house and it came out reversed. Okay.
Wow.
This is really, all right. This is really shaping up. These cards really speak to each other. All right. Now, the 10th house, all right, that is the most public house. That is information that we can find out about you, though we don't have to know you intimately. I mean, you can figure out, is somebody married? What's the job that somebody has? How many siblings? You can find out a lot about that kind of information. Where do they live? Are they moving? Now, so the 10th house is really a career card. It's that. We got it reversed. And this is a relationship card. This is a relationship spread. All right. It says relationship change.
Mm,
Boy, does that go with, wow. Okay.
yeah.
A change in status, I'm reading the message on the card, may be taking place in your most intimate partnerships. All right. This is really saying, when we're looking at these cards, water, cardinal, Venus, love, new beginnings and relationship change. Okay. This is really saying we really should all be open to bringing at least one new relationship in. Okay. That's what it's really saying, that there's a
Right.
new relationship knocking on the door. Okay. And it could be a professional, it could be a best friend, it could be a romance. All right. And we need to open that door. That's really what it's saying, that we need to open our heart. And how are we going to know which one? It's not going to be the one that should be. It's not going to be, oh, this will be a smart one, right? To get in, or I can have a benefit with this one. No, no. How are we going to choose? With water and Venus.
Mm.
We are supposed to connect to our heart, to our feelings. And it doesn't matter. So this could even be an unconventional relationship. If this is our guide, this is saying it doesn't matter what anyone else tells you about, oh no, don't, that person's not going to be good for you. No, no. You listen to your heart over the next couple of weeks. And if you're going to bring somebody new into your life, you're going to do it because you feel for that person, because your heart tells you it's okay. So that's a very, very clear message. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, I am always surprised, Carolyn. I'm always surprised and very excited by these. I don't know what cards are going to be, and I'm always so surprised by them and excited. And I see, I'm taking these messages as much as you are and everybody else. I'm like, okay, this is,
Right. Right.
I'm gonna have to open that door too,
Right.
so
That's right. That was a beautiful summary. And I love how you tied in, how do we choose? That's really beautiful. How do we choose the kind of relationship to foster the, you
yes.
know, yes, through that Venus and that water, through the heart.
That's really important, because that comes down to a lot of, why we do things and the choice. And I love that the cards will tell us the way. That's why I say astrology illuminates the path to take, and the oracle cards illuminate a path to take. So it's like, we don't know all the specifics, but we do know how we're going to make the choice. It's going to be a love choice. And it's interesting, this, because it's the group. I pulled a couple of cards for Thanksgiving, and
Mhm.
it was water and Uranus, and we're all part of the group. So this is really energy that's hitting the group of, it's really feel deeply, move ahead, that make sure our actions are in alignment with our heart,
That's
with what our heart wants.
that's beautiful.
That is
That's
really what's going on right now.
really beautiful. Wow, what an exciting spread. We'll have
I
to check
know.
this out.
This is very, very exciting. And I
Yes.
should say, for those of you who are just tuning in, you are listening to Through the Lens of Astrology with Heather Arielle. I have the magnificent and luminous, very luminous Carolyn Oakley with us today, who is a wonderful publisher, a graphic designer, and she's the boss at Luminous Moon Design and Press. So
Great. Thank you.
we
Thank you
just did a
so
new
much.
moon spread. And so if you missed it, or if you want to get it, that's all going to be uploaded to Through the Lens of Astrology Facebook group. You can go there and to look at it again, or if you missed it.
And I just want to remind people that this spread is in the 2020 astrology planner. And so you can get that out and you can do your own new moon oracle spread. It's on page 139 for this month. And there's a lot of other activities in there still for 2020. And it actually also has a 12-month astrology spread for 2021, which I think you're going to do in a
Oh,
couple of
yes.
weeks, right?
I'm going to do, because it's going to be pre-recorded, but I'm going to do a new show, a very special show for New Year's Eve, that I'm going to do a yearly forecast, and I'm going to be doing the 12-month spread for the group. And there's even a 12 astrological house spread.
Ooh,
So I'm going to be doing those big picture,
right.
big picture spreads for New Year's Eve. So that is coming up. And I should also say, we have a special right now for the month of December, the 2021 Astro Planner, which is almost 200 pages, and it has even more spreads than the 2020. It has equinox and solstice spreads and new moon activities. It's the digital edition, which is a wonderful fillable PDF. It's 30% off. And so I think the normal price is $24.95, and it's 30% off. So that's for the month of December. So I'm very excited about that, because I really do love, I use the planner. I love it. And the artwork, the gorgeous watercolors of Tom Cummins. We have the first page of each month, a huge full-size picture of his artwork. So
Oh,
it makes it just so especially beautiful, because
oh
he's
yeah,
such a
that
great artist.
artwork is amazing.
I love it.
Great to have those large, pictures of it. They are gorgeous cards. Yeah, and in 2021, you also added, I don't have it in front of me, but something about the different moon, like a fire moon,
Oh,
right?
yes.
How to do
Yes. Moon sign activities. That is a big difference, because the moon is really important. It's a great way to teach us astrology, and to
Mm,
teach yourself about how it shows you how to be present with your energy, because the moon moves so quickly. It's just 2.5 days and it's in a new sign. And as it goes through, so it spends a couple of days each month in each astrological house. And so when it goes through a house, you can emotionally connect. It kind of highlights what's going on in that house. So it's a great way to see, for you to connect to your energy, to learn about your energy. Like, oh, Aries is in my first house. How does that feel? And so that's why I developed these moon sign activities to help people really become aware of, okay, when the moon is in this sign, these activities are especially supported. And then to help people figure out, well, what does that mean for them personally? Where, what house is being activated? Yeah, so that's new. Yeah, that was not in 2020. So
Yeah, there is a lot of new material in the
yes.
2021 planner, and that's one of my favorite uses of the planner actually is to kind of notice that what sign is the moon in, and then you've got this space in the planner where you can write how you feel about that and start to notice these patterns, and also there you go, and also the sun sign when the sun changes. So
Quick flip through.
right. No, show us again now.
Oh,
Let's make
yes.
sure the camera's on
Yeah.
you. So you talk about it. So the camera's
Oh,
on.
okay. Yeah. So as you see, there are all kinds of all right, and it's a lot. You've got this, you've got a lot of the little cards. I'm trying to find, let me show you a big picture. Oh, here. Okay, here we go. So when you see the beginning of each month, oh, okay, kind of disappeared. There we go. Oh, okay, has to be just right to see. But it's a big picture. That's beautiful. That's Taurus, one of my favorites. And then you see, and so the artwork is gorgeous. Plus, you get all of the, oh, there's Venus and Gemini. That's me.
Mm.
And then you get the all the spreads. Oh, here's a nice spread. Okay. And so you can be doing these. So even though I do these spreads for the group, this is a way that you can be doing the spreads at home to get more layers, because I do more additional spreads. So like, yes, I'm going to incorporate all these messages. And then if you want to go deeper, take this spread and say, I want to know more. How is this really going to impact you personally? And then that'll be a second layer. And you'll see that messages will echo, they will reinforce, and you want to pay attention to that. Especially like if you do this spread at home that we did and you get any of the same 5 cards, that's just like that's saying, hey, bingo. Pay extra attention, because that means the message is being echoed and
Wow.
reinforced and deepened. And when you do these spreads at home, well, I mean, either way, when I do them or when you do them at home, pay attention when your own energy is highlighted. Right. That's why you
Mm.
need to get your chart out. Get your natal chart out. Make sure you know your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, ascendant, midheaven. Make sure you're comfortable with those energies, because when you pull cards that echo those energies, it's reminding you, hey, that's one of your superpowers. Embrace it completely. Or if you get it, it could be reminding you to say, hey, are you totally in balance with that energy? I mean, because
Right.
sometimes I get I've got a stellium in Gemini, and I pull the Gemini card reversed, all right, and I have to
Right.
say, okay, Heather, one, you got to make a decision, because Gemini's, reversed is it's hard to make a decision, and it means, okay, I'm juggling too many balls, I'm going to put a few of them down. So,
Great.
and that's a message for me to say, oh, I'm getting a little out of balance with that energy,
Right.
because we all constantly go in and out of balance. It's not a big deal. We don't want to be hard on ourselves, but we want to catch on as quickly as we can that we're getting out of balance, so then we can quickly make that adjustment and get back in. So
Right.
that's the point
Right.
of that.
That's fantastic. That's great. There's those micro adjustments again,
The
right?
micro adjustments.
That
Yeah.
that makes me really excited actually to sort of do these spreads at home after you do the group spread, and then see if there's a layered message You know, for you, you know, for me, perhaps it's about, maybe we'll focus on which relationships, at work relationships or play relationships. You never know what that message might be. So that's really exciting. I think that's a great thing to remind people when you do these spreads, that they can also do them at home and add an extra layer of meaning for them personally. So that's fantastic. I love it.
Now, I also want to make people aware because I am starting something brand new. I'm starting some workshops. So I don't think we've talked about this yet. So, okay, because, you know, some of you have said you really want a more personal, you really want to get a deeper layer, right? Because I can't be responding in such personal ways to everybody listening, even when people ask for a question.
Right.
So I do have 3 workshops coming up, and they're going to be 2 Sundays in January, January 17th, January 24th, and then I have February 6th. And I'm going to do a different workshop on each one. Now, all this information is on my website, ariellesastrology.com, Arielles, astrology.com. And the January 17th, they're all at 2 p.m. Eastern time, too. 2 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to start with the Magical Moon Workshop. It's going to be a beautiful Pisces moon. It's between a new and full moon. And I'm not, yeah, so it's going to be, the moon will be sextile, a late Capricorn sun. Pisces moon is mystical, it's transcendent, it is psychic. And the moon is so sensitive and receptive. I thought, let's do the Magical Moon Workshop with a Pisces moon. And you're going to find if there's 3 parts to that one. So if you want to know about how can you embrace your own natal moon, the sign it's in, the house it's in? What are some transits that are happening to your moon? And then how can you develop an intuitive connection to your moon? So you're going to get some brand new intuitive spreads to be doing. So it's going to be every possible aspect you can think of. And it's going to be very, very personal, personal and practical. So if you have any interest in knowing about your moon, you can do that one. And then the January 24th one, that is one that I'm calling Unmasking Your Astro Face. And that's going to be focused on the sun and ascendant. And I chose a Gemini moon. So there will be a Gemini moon when we do that one. And I just thought, how perfect for Gemini is 2. You get 2. It's the gift of 2. And sometimes people say Gemini is two-faced. I just think it's just the duality, but it's how can we, because the sun and ascendant are really our 2 faces, and we want to learn how to blend them seamlessly. So then, you know, we appear authentic. Because when we don't blend them, that's when we don't appear authentic. And we want it, they're both gifts. So I picked a Gemini moon for that. And that you'll also learn how to make. Okay, in the Astroface workshop, I will show you how to transform a traditional natal chart into a beautiful, comprehensible visual collage. So you get that in that one as well. And then on Saturday, February 6th at 2 p.m., we will be in a Mercury retrograde. And I thought, okay, that's perfect for my retrogrades reimagined workshop. And in that workshop, I cover Mercury, Venus, and Mars. You're going to get all 3 in one workshop, and you're going to find out how to, you know, how is that all hitting you personally. So you will know by the end of that where all of the Mercury, Venus, Mars retrogrades for the year of 2021, where are they really going to hit you? Right. So it's going to be very, very personal. So I'm so excited that those are finally, they're ready. You can go to my website and sign up. And they're going to be through Zoom, obviously, with everything going on, but you're going to have the personal approach. And I'm excited. I love teaching. And well, you know, as the song says, from the King and I, by your pupils, you'll be taught. And so I love teaching. I get as much out of it as you do. So
That's wonderful, Heather. I'm so glad you're doing that because, you know, you did those workshops in 2018, I believe it was, when you were still on your
yes,
book tour and still able to travel, is what I
yes.
wanted to say. And we had hoped you'd come back and come back to Boulder this year and that you'd be able to travel. and do more workshops in person. So now that everything is moved to Zoom, that's brilliant. You know, it really opens up the opportunity for people to take these workshops who may not have been able to come and see you in person.
Well,
So
it's true. And no, you made a good point, because even though I know most people, they've been doing Zoom for a while, but I come from a theater background. Jupiter is conjunct my ascendant. I love to travel. I love to be in front of people, that immediate connection. I love things that are live. And so it was, even though, I mean, you had been telling me for a while, even before COVID, you were saying you should do more Zoom things. You should be doing more. But I'm like, no, but I like to travel. I like to go. But you're right. We can get more people, and
yeah.
it's more people have access to this. And so I'm on board. I'm on board now. I'm growing as much. I'm growing along with everyone else. So,
Right.
I am excited. And I do feel that it'll just be a way to really bring as many people in as possible. Um, yeah, to it.
Well, these sound great. I mean, they're just three wonderful workshops and you cover so much material. And, you know, if people can only attend one, they'll get a lot of benefit. If they can do all three, wow, they'll be set for the year. So that's great.
And you know what else I wanted to remind people of? I just started an astrology book club. And I only started it because Tom Galtieri, we have this video series, Astro Now, and he was reading it. And I was so inspired because it's connected to Sagittarius themes of faith and tolerance. And I mean, in this, it's really, I have a copy right here. I'm going to hold up. And this is a beautiful story right now, because it really is. It's about a woman, and Hester Prynne, and she is completely persecuted because she does something that is not in alignment with the beliefs of her community. Okay.
Mm,
And the community is incredibly intolerant. There's adultery, there's some sexual taboos. And so we still have Venus and Scorpio right now. And so we still have that. But the Sag, we need to be connecting to our tolerance. So it's a beautiful story for that. And I just to also to bring up synchronicities, because sometimes people say to me, they don't really understand how synchronicities work. So I had the little discussion with Tom Gualtieri for Astro Now. I was inspired. Well, within a couple of days of that, and I hadn't thought of the Scarlet Letter in a while. All right. Within, I mean, no more than 2 days, I went out, and my mom was going through some old, I'm going to hold this up. This is a little tag for a
mm,
Christmas present. Okay.
yeah.
And my mom said, oh, look, I'm going through these. And it says to Heather Hawthorne. And she said, oh, do you remember? Because when this is what my mom was an English teacher. And so whenever she would give me classics literature as presents, which I get all the time, but this is the copy she gave me. It's a big, beautiful edition, big print, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, I love it, love it. And
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hawthorne is one of my mom's all-time favorite authors. So she gave this. She says, oh, you remember when I gave you that? And I said, I can't believe this. Tom just brought this up. I hadn't thought of this novel in a while. And it's just a beautiful synchronicity saying, we listen to those because it's saying, yeah. And it was after my mom showed me this that I said, you know what? I'm going to do a book club. I really am supposed to be talking about this book. This is a great message of tolerance, of what happens when we become intolerant, and
Mhm.
just how can we connect art to astrology, because I am an artist, I'm a writer, and I love both art and astrology. It really elevates, it heals, it helps us to look at life in a more poetic and symbolic way. And
Mhm.
when we look at things in a poetic, symbolic way, guess what? Life becomes more meaningful and more enjoyable. I mean, it's just story is fun. It's one of the reasons you feel so alive, because creativity, computers can't, they can do a lot of things, but no, they're not creative, right? And so the sense of humor and the creativity, that's what art brings us. And so I just wanted to bring that also because it's a beautiful example of a synchronicity. And that's how we're supposed to be viewing it. And it's like, that's also with my mom telling me that she echoed the message, and that was like spirit guide coming in. I got the message from Tom, and then I go out there and she's doing that. I say, yeah, these are echoing and reinforcing. So we look in our life to these moments to echo and reinforce, to say, let's pay a little more attention to that.
That's a beautiful synopsis of what synchronicity is, because I know people really don't understand often how
Yes.
it works, and that it's that simple. That
Yes,
these,
yes, that is
you just,
that simple.
yeah, yeah, you see something and it just keeps coming up from different people in different areas of your life, and that's what it's all about. So how can people join in with the book club?
Okay. So it's going to be through the lens of astrology. And what I want,
The
we're going to
Facebook
read.
group?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, the
Yes.
Facebook group. And we're going to do a little Facebook Live, and I'm going to be reading some of my favorite passages from it. And then people can be, responding and sort of saying, well, how do they feel about it? What is their connection? And I want to hear, what are some of the favorite stories that the listeners have that you feel are stories of tolerance, that are stories that show us different cultures, different belief systems, how to be tolerant. If you feel that you're reading something, or there's a certain story that resonates to Sagittarius themes, I also want to know about that, because that's going to help the group. And I'm going to list those in the group so that we can start to create really nice lists of art that resonates to the current energy, because then that's just another way to help us be present with our energy and the energy around us.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And that goes back to what I said earlier about, like, oh, we're in this for, now Sagittarius season. How can we really get the gifts, the benefits of that energetic period?
Yes.
That's great. I'm excited about that. So people should check out the Through the Lens of Astrology Facebook group, and then we'll be posting information about when that Facebook Live is going to happen.
Yes.
And people can suggest books that they're reading. I'm going to get in there and suggest something, because there's a book, I haven't read it yet, but I've heard about it, and a lot of people are reading it. It's on the Oprah list. It's called Cast, I believe. And so anyway, I'm going to find out more about that
Okay.
and share that with.
Well, and I mean, I love Oprah Winfrey. I'll tell you, I've talked about Oprah Winfrey publicly for since I started, because she's one of the best examples of someone who is in balance with her chart, and someone who has afflictions, has Mercury opposing Pluto. I talk about that because it reminds us that we have free will, and that everyone, we need to view our chart as a gift. And even if you have an affliction, it doesn't it, it doesn't mean anything negative. We have
Right,
free will, and it's how are we going to connect to that? So
right.
she's just a shining example of how to be in balance with a chart, and that you love your chart and you
Yeah.
connect to your energy, and then you can be an inspiration to everyone. So I love it. Hey, if she's okayed the book, I've okayed the book.
Yeah, yeah. It's called Cast: The Origins of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson. And so, yeah, I think you'd probably love it.
Oh,
And
gorgeous.
yeah, so we can recommend that one.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, well, Carolyn, we're about at the end of our show.
We are.
And what I want to do, this has been so special and wonderful to have you here. And of course, you're welcome back anytime. And what I'd like to do, because I did say we are going to do the cosmic forces, let's just, you and I right now,
Mhm.
let's do this. And everyone listening, you can follow along with us, okay? And it's an elegant and an eloquent, simple equation. And I'm going to say one line. Okay, I'm going to say the line, and we're going to repeat it 3 times. And then just going to say a little blessing. And you can do this at home. Everyone listening, you can do this at home. Just make sure you do it verbatim. All right. So the line is, I bring the cosmic forces into my body, asking for strength, protection, and guidance. Okay, that's the line. So we're going to want to repeat it 3 times and then do the prayer, and then we give thanks. Okay, so for people, who you just want to sort of, if you can stand, you can stand. If not, just sit comfortably, uncross your legs, and put your arms just relaxed at your side. Okay. And take a couple of breaths. Just exhale. Okay. And Carolyn, I'm going to say it and you're going to repeat after me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I bring the cosmic forces
I bring the cosmic forces
into my body,
into my body,
asking for strength, protection, and guidance.
asking for strength, protection, and guidance.
I bring the cosmic forces into my body,
I bring the cosmic forces into my body,
asking for strength, protection, and guidance.
asking for strength, protection, and guidance.
I bring the cosmic forces into my body,
I bring the cosmic forces into my body,
asking for strength, protection, and guidance.
asking for strength, protection, and guidance.
I ask the cosmic forces to surround all of us and everyone listening in a beautiful protective bubble and beautiful white light, and help to lift the veils for all of us and surround us with creativity, joy, happiness, love, empathy, resilience, and help us all to embrace the beautiful new beginnings of the glorious Sagittarius energy and the new solar eclipse. Help us to just bring that energy in and open our heart center. Open our heart center so we can feel more deeply than we've ever felt before, and that we can share how we feel, and we can share our love for each other in a wonderful, open, healing, non-judgmental way. And we thank you for bringing all of these gifts into our lives and for guiding us along the way. And Carolyn, do you want to add something?
Thank you so much, Heather, for what you're doing. You have this incredible gift, and it's really beautiful to see you using that gift to help others. And you do it with such sincerity and genuine care. So thank you for doing that. I just really appreciate it. And thanks for this beautiful blessing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's cross ourselves. We put our right palm on our left shoulder, our left palm on our right shoulder, and we say, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Carolyn, that was very nice what you said. I almost started crying. Oh my goodness.
Well, it's very true. It's very
Well,
true.
boy, you're expressing that was, think about it. You just expressed your love for me. Look, you just immediately incorporated those elements of the new moon spread and the prayer. Wow. Okay. Thank you. So you're an inspiration. You're an
Thank you.
inspiration.
Thank you.
And we're going to keep doing that. Thank you for spreading your beautiful light. And this was extra magical having you on. You're going to come on. You're going to come on more.
This was really fun. This was
This
wonderful.
was very
Yeah.
magical.
And I learned so much every time I listen to your show. So thank you, really,
Oh.
from all of us.
Okay, then. Well, that's our show. Until next time, enjoy and embrace transformation.